Welcome to the Answers for Elders radio show. Meet the trusted experts who will give you straight answers and will help guide you on the path of later life care. Now, here's your host, founder, caregiver, and CEO, Suzanne Newman.
And welcome back, everyone, to Answers for Elders Radio Network. And we are talking about environmental wellness with Dr. Shawn Weiss. And we have been talking about the environment. And I would like to talk about kind of what are the most important things to remember in having an environment to support you. What are some things that people should look at right now?
I would suggest you start with lighting.
Okay.
And that's throughout the whole home. Because like I said, the darkness and especially the high majority of those over 65 start having vision problems.
Mm-hmm.
Check the wattage on your bulbs and replace them maybe with LEDs or a higher watt bulb. Then making sure you have night lights or motion sensor lights in your hallways and then to the bathroom, all the areas that you frequent on a daily basis. So lighting is very, very big. And don't discard the lighting on the outside of the house too, especially if you are coming in and out in the evening or have somebody that's coming in and out in the evening. You want to look at the lighting. That's an easy fix.
And those are you can get them on Amazon. You know, I know that my husband actually got some motion sensor ones, and along our sidewalk, they sense, and when it senses you're in the sidewalk, all those lights come on, and they're solar powered. So there's nothing to deal with.
So easy to get on Amazon and really inexpensive too.
Yeah.
So, definitely lighting is the first one. And then the other one would be, your pathways. Are they decluttered? Are they free from rugs and tripping hazards? Are they free from cords, from lamps, from chargers, from any type of cord that you might trip on? Where are those located? You can buy those nice little you take the plastic ties or the sandwich ties even.
Sure.
Tie up those cords and get them out of the way. So again, decluttering your pathways, getting from the living room to the kitchen, from the kitchen to the bedroom, to the bedroom to the bathroom, or out to the garage where the car is. Is there a clear path? And that is super important. So that would be the second one I would think about. And then the other one is entering and exiting the home and the safety preparation that should be going into that as you get older, especially with mobility issues. Do you have steps to get in and out of the home? Or is there another way you can get in the home? Or do you always go in through the garage and there's 3 steps with no rail? Those are easy fixes that you can get a handrail put in up on the wall or down into the concrete. I did that. Had my dad do that for my mom because the one way they get in the house is through the breezeway, and there's 2 steps there and there's no railing, and she needs the railing now. So that railing is there in place, and that just gives her so much more peace of mind. So keeping that, and especially if you live somewhere in winter months where you have to worry about fall safety with snow or ice, always have those things ready and available for that type of an emergency where they need to get out.
And, you talk about emergencies, obviously having a first aid kit in your home, things like that. What are some things as far as environmentally, if we lose power, if we have situations like that, what are some things that we need to pay attention to?
Well, there's lots of options now and lots of easy ways to get things. Like you said, Amazon can get you some of these things. But so let's talk first about emergencies. We talked about having the life alerts. I think that's super, super important if you have a loved one or yourself are over 65, 70 years old, to have one of those in place, because that will access emergency services. Secondly, looking at what were you mentioning right before this, Suzanne? Because it made me think of something super important in terms of emergency preparedness. I like having things on the refrigerator. You want to always have a piece of paper. You can use the magnets where you're putting emergency contacts, your daughter's name, your neighbor's name and phone number. It can just be written on a piece of paper. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, but always have your emergency numbers up there in case you need them or in case somebody else needs them. If you have any allergen or allergies for emergency personnel, do you wear one of the bracelets, or again, have that on the refrigerator, or you can program that into your phone right now. So that's easy too. And And remind me what you were saying a second ago, because I was making
I
me
was
think,
talking about the
Amazon.
cords. Was that?
Yes. And that made me think about phones. And I now, because if you don't have a generator in your home, and it seems like, I know where I am, there's a lot of construction and we're losing power more frequently. My mom is on oxygen. So if they lose power, they now have a portable generator, one that will at least power the oxygen machine.
Mm-hmm.
But I buy a lot of portable chargers for the cell phones. Yes, you can go out in your car and turn it on and charge your cell phone that way. But we now keep on hand at least 3 or 4 portable chargers that are always charged up to plug our phones in case we do lose power. I mean, we lost power for 18 hours a few months ago when we had that tornado come through. 18 hours. And then you quickly realize how you're not prepared as much as you thought you are. But you can get those things very easily online.
Yeah. Well, and I also think talking about emergency preparedness is to have a stash of food, and that's where you need to think about dried fruits, those types of things as well. Isn't that correct?
Yeah, you can go out without food for a while, but you can't go without water. And so always keeping some purified bottled water on hand and easily accessible, not down in the basement where you have trouble getting to, but keeping it on hand in one of the closets or something that's more accessible is really important as well. And like you said, keeping some non-perishables maybe on hand. Of course, I'm not a big fan of all the processed stuff, but in an emergency, it can be important to have if you can't get out of the home and you have trouble getting out of your home.
Yeah. And I'm going to close with one thing that we haven't even brought up, but I really want to spend a little bit of time, and that's clutter. I mean, I can tell you a lot of times falls happen because of clutter. Things left in the walkway, different things are unorganized in the kitchen, things like that. I mean, how big is clutter as an effect of?
Well, you have, things that are just, I need to move some things out of the way. And then you have the other extreme where, it's really a mental health issue with some hoarding issues, which I've seen, like I said, hundreds and hundreds of patients where we have really to intervene with family member or professional help to come and remove things from the home, because it's not only a safety hazard for falling, but it's a hazard in general for many other reasons, just stashing boxes and things that are out of place. And, you go down a rabbit hole with that, because if somebody is hoarding, there's always usually a trigger reason for that. And then that's where you want to recommend counseling or professional help. Because just taking stuff out, that can be very traumatic for somebody who is very attached to those things.
Absolutely. As we close today, Dr. Weiss, how do we reach you?
Thanks, Suzanne. It's been great being here as always. You can reach me on my website. It's seniorhealthandwellness.org. And there's a way to contact me directly on there. And I would love to talk with you. If you have any questions, I have free consultations that you could sign up for.
Absolutely. And thank you again for all you have done to make the Vitality Revolution the success it's been this year.
Thank you, Suzanne. It's been awesome.
Answers for Elders thanks you for watching the Vitality Revolution. Discover a blueprint to find a whole new gear in life, new awareness, and greater potential. Subscribe and be a part of our community. Answers for Elders is the North Star of navigating senior care, featuring content to help later life go a lot easier.